So now we're drawing the supply and demand curve for French wine. We have the quantity on the horizontal axis and the price on the vertical one. And we do have the supply curve for French wine and the demand curve for French wine. And we have the equilibrium quantity and the equilibrium price for French wine.
So we now have a fall in demand for French wine, and we represent that by a leftward shift in the demand curve. What's the effect of that? The equilibrium price falls, and the equilibrium quantity supplied to the market declines also. Now we can see why some producers leave the industry. We've got a smaller level of equilibrium output, less wine is being produced. So there'll be fewer producers in the industry. Who are the producers that will leave? The reason why the supply curve is upward sloping is that there are higher cost producers who have to be drawn into a market if we're going to get more wine output. When the price falls, those marginal, higher cost producers can no longer cover their costs. They're the ones that leave the industry. So when the demand curve shifts left and the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity falls, some producers, the marginal producers, will leave the industry and resources will need to go off and be used somewhere else.
So this is about solving a simultaneous equation, because at equilibrium, quantity demanded equals quantity supplied. So what we have here is 100 less 4Q equals 40 plus 2Q. And as you see, this is 6Q equals 60, or quantity demanded is 10. And how do we find the price now? Well, very easily. We substitute in any of the equations. So we choose one and we have 100 less 40 equals 60. Which gives us the equilibrium price.
We've seen that when the price falls, the quantity demanded increases. Now we want to be able to quantify that. To what extent does demand increase when price falls? And it's the sensitivity of consumers to price changes, the elasticity of demand, that we need to measure. So we've got the numbers for this. Let's see if we can work it out. Our measure of elasticity of demand is that we take the percentage change in the quantity demanded and divide it by the percentage change in the price that causes it. Now, in this case, we're told that we've got a 10% fall in price. So minus 10 is the percentage fall in price. And we've got an increase in the quantity demanded of 5%. So our measure of elasticity is to divide the 5 by the minus 10, and that gives us a measure of minus 0.5. What does that 0.5 mean? One way of looking at it is to say, it tells us this: for every % fall in the price, we'll get a 0.5% increase in the quantity demanded on average. So in this case, we've got a number equal to 0.5 or minus, or more strictly, minus 0.5. For every 1% fall in price, there's a 0.5% increase in the quantity demanded. That's our measure of elasticity of demand.